Well, I hope everybody is wide awake after last night's game. Very, very late, of course, over in Philadelphia. Finished Newcastle United 3, Aston Villa 3. So there has been a bit of fallout from the game. Also, Newcastle United have confirmed that they will not be interested in signing a striker in this window. Target Jesper Lindstrom has agreed a deal in principle with Juventus. And Newcastle are getting very frustrated with Southampton over the transfer of Tino Livramento. And we will have a little chat about Shaka Hislop as well. So welcome to the Daily News. Hi everybody, I'm Paul. Welcome to the Toon Review and the Daily News Show. Before we get cracking, as usual, guys, please do give it the thumbs up if you do enjoy the show. And if you're new, come and be part of this wonderful community by hitting that subscribe button. It's completely free to do so. And also the notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or we upload any future videos. We hit 22k last night on the watch along, which is fantastic. But we want to keep building, guys. And with your help, we certainly can. Right, on to the main stories. And Eddie Howe has confirmed that he was not happy last night with the goals that we conceded against Aston Villa. Of course, a little bit sloppy in defence, to say the least. But let's be honest, we didn't have our first team defence out there. You know, Trippier was out there, Cher was out there from the start. But we don't expect the left-back and the other centre-back, who was, of course, Paul Dummett, to be involved very much at all. Dummett was all over the place for me, certainly in the first 20 minutes, but the goals we conceded were very poor. And that's what Eddie Howe has highlighted after the game. Not very happy with certainly the first goal. All the defenders got dragged to one side, left Ollie Watkins on his own for a very simple finish. And the second goal, backing off, and Buendia said, right, if you're going to back off, I'm just going to hit the shot. So there were poor goals that we conceded last night, and it was a very poor first 15, 20 minutes of the game. But we grew into it as the game went on. Of course, Elliot Anderson missed a wonderful chance to equalise at 1-1, fluffed his shot, but by God, did he get better after that as well. So there was some very, very positive notes about the game, and we will talk about that in tonight's live show. So if you're watching this on the Monday, tune in at 7 p.m. for the live review show, and we will also be talking about the latest transfer news as well. So a very good show to come tonight at 7 o'clock. But Eddie said he had to hold a mini inquest at the drinks break, in the first half. Of course, that came around about 22 minutes into the half. We were all over the place, but we did stabilise after that drinks break. We got back into the game, of course, and Eddie was very impressed with how we responded to what he had to say at the drinks break. Now, we know that this is only a friendly, but we know also what Eddie Howe is like. He's a perfectionist. He wants things done right. And it certainly wasn't done right in the first half. I'm not sure about the tactics, to be honest, whether three at the back suits our players or our system at all. It was a bit risky and it didn't quite work. Second half was a lot better, but we did have a lot more experience at the back then with Dan Burn, Sven Botman, and of course Jamal Lascelles as the three centre-backs. They looked a lot more secure. But Eddie did say it's all about getting ready for the start of the season, but we need to stop the individual errors, which of course led to the goals last night. Silly individual errors, which if they happen in the Premier League, we're in big trouble. I don't expect them to happen in the Premier League, of course, because we'll have much better players out on the pitch. But he did make a highlight that he didn't like the way we conceded the goals, and I don't think any of us did, to be honest. But it's another 90 minutes under our belts and getting the players ready for that first game of the season. Now, another thing that Eddie Howe was asked is regarding his transfer policy and what's left for this season after, of course, the signing of Harvey Barnes. One thing he has highlighted is that Newcastle United will not be after another striker in this transfer window. Now, that may upset a lot of fans because, you know, we do only have Isak and Wilson there at the moment, and if anything happens to them, God forbid, it could put us in a bit of trouble. But Eddie did highlight that he has other positions as a priority. Now, I would think that left-back is a priority, although we haven't had any news of Newcastle going after a left-back at the moment. It's all very quiet on that front. Nothing on Kieran Tierney or Theo Hernandez or anything like that. But as we know throughout this transfer window, Newcastle can do dealings very, very quietly until they announce it has actually happened. So I'm not too worried about that. And as long as Eddie has said, you know, there is other positions of priority. But what he did mention was Anthony Gordon. He said that he has an option now with Anthony Gordon after doing so well for England in the Euro under-21s, playing that striker position, that he does have that option to push Anthony a bit further forward and give Newcastle different options as well. Because if things aren't going right during the game, he has the ability now to switch it with certainly the front men he's got. You know, we saw Miggy last night in the first half playing a very strange sort of position. He was out on the right-hand side a lot of the time. Then he would cut in as a number 10. I'm not quite sure what Miggy's position was last night, to be honest, but it's given us options. And Eddie's trying things, obviously, in this pre-season, see what works and see what doesn't work. But he did say as well that the striker position, because of the cost of strikers and the millions of pounds that it would cost to bring another striker in. He said we just don't have the budget under the stipulations that we're on at the minute with FFP regarding money spent. We just haven't got the budget to go out and spend that on a striker. We know how much strikers cost in this world. You know, Isak was 60 million quid. If you're going to bring another quality striker in, you're looking at, even if it's a youngster, you're looking at 30, 40 million. And Eddie's just said we just don't have that financial power just yet. But as I say, other positions are a priority, so we'll keep an eye on that as the days pass by. Jesper Lindstrom was highly linked with Newcastle United only a couple of weeks ago. It seemed like we were very, very interested in the Frankfurt man and that a deal was looking likely. However, news this morning is that he has agreed in principle to join Juventus over in Italy. Now, this could mean a couple of things, because what the report is actually saying is it could mean that bringing in Lindstrom could then release Chiesa a lot quicker than, you know, at least Juventus have a replacement for him. So it could be a bonus for Newcastle if indeed we are still interested, as the reports say, in Federico Chiesa. We know that Liverpool are interested as well, but have they blown their transfer budget altogether? You know, they brought in Szoboszlai. I'm not sure that Chiesa would make any sense to go to Liverpool, given the players that Liverpool already have there. However, Chiesa could solve our right-sided problem should we need it. But is he a player that you're still interested in for Newcastle United? Would Chiesa make much of a difference now to the front line that we have? Or do you think injuries have taken its toll on Chiesa? Because, I mean, the thing is, with Liverpool still being involved in it and getting spoken about, Chiesa does have options. Obviously, it's well known that he's fallen out with the manager at Juventus, so I don't think staying at Juventus is any sort of option for Chiesa. And now that they're bringing in Jesper Lindstrom, this sort of pushes Chiesa further back and out the door, really. Now, of course, it comes down to agreeing a fee for Chiesa. Personally speaking, I would love to see Federico Chiesa at Newcastle. Absolutely, 100%. I think he'd be a brilliant player for us. And again, would make that squad just that little bit tougher, that little bit better, and, you know, have multiple options for Eddie Howe up front. I mean, if we brought Chiesa in, it's golden, our strike force. It really is. We haven't seen this kind of strike force for a long time with different options for Eddie to play. But let me know in the comments, would you still bring Chiesa in, or do you think we should look elsewhere? Newcastle United are reportedly this morning getting very, very frustrated with Southampton over the transfer of Tino Livramento. Now, of course, we had reports last week that a £30 million fee had been agreed, and it was just a case of tying up loose ends. A couple of days later, it turns out that that is not the case. No fee was ever agreed, and Southampton are wanting more money. Now, Newcastle United have accused Southampton of moving the financial goalposts numerous times during this transfer. Now, the problem Southampton have is that a percentage of the transfer fee has got to go to his former side, Chelsea, and that's what Southampton are bothered about. So you can't really blame Southampton for wanting to put a little bit extra money onto the transfer to cover that percentage so that they get what they feel is worth for Livramento. You know, they don't want to lose out on money. So you can agree, you can sort of agree with Southampton that way. However, when it comes to Newcastle United and doing the deal, Southampton can't keep moving the goalposts. You know, if they're going to agree on a fee and agree on terms, then they need to stick to that instead of changing it, you know, from a day-to-day basis. And, you know, it's not Newcastle United's fault that Southampton agreed to put a ridiculous percentage of the sell-on fee onto the contract and the transfer agreement they had with Chelsea. That's nothing to do with us, and they should be able to handle that. Of course, relegation hasn't helped them at all on the financial front, so there's another reason that they may well be pushing for more money, is because they want some financial backing to go out and get a replacement for Livramento, who is going to help them in their transfer push in the Championship this season. But Newcastle United see Tino Livramento as a very, very big asset if they can sign him, which is why they haven't walked away from the deal yet. So Newcastle are still interested. They still want Livramento, but it's just agreeing the fee because of this percentage of the sell-on that Chelsea will get. So they're still interested. They won't walk away because they know that this guy will be a big, big signing and a big asset to Newcastle in the future. I'm sure all the Toon Review army out there and basically every football fan around the world will send their prayers and thoughts to Shaka Hislop and his family. Of course, Shaka horrendously collapsed on camera, live on air last night. He is reportedly stable this morning. Thankfully, he is conscious, he is talking, but we have no further details on what the problem was. Of course, many people pointing to a heart problem or whatever it may be. Look, it was very hot over there, and it can just be the fact that he's suffered some kind of heat problem, dehydration, exhaustion, whatever it may be. We can't speculate at the minute, but what we do want to say is everybody at the Toon Review really does send their love and prayers to Shaka and a very, very speedy recovery. There you go, guys. That is the daily news today. As usual, let me know in the comments down below what you think of all the news. Are you happy with what Eddie had to say? Do you think we need to cut out the individual errors, or is it just too soon? It's pre-season. Let's just see what develops. Of course, not going for a striker. How do you feel about that? Is Chiesa the man to come in if Lindstrom indeed goes to Juventus? And just Livramento, I mean, this deal could go on for bloody weeks the way it's going at the minute. So let me know what you think of all the news. But that is it. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed the show, guys, as I said at the start, please do give it the thumbs up. Very important for the channel that we keep up there in the YouTube algorithm. And also, if you're new and you like what you see, come and be part of this wonderful community that we have on the Toon Review by hitting the subscribe button. Free to do so. And also, don't forget to hit that notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or we upload any future videos. You can, of course, become a member of the Toon Review if you do so wish by hitting the join button just underneath. And, of course, you can find us on all our socials, all across social media. Just search for the Toon Review. And we now, of course, have the Patreon where we do extra podcasts off camera. We've just released another one this morning in our What's Next series, and that involves Jamal Lascelles. The link for Patreon is in the description underneath this video. But there you go. We've got a brilliant show tonight at 7 o'clock if you're watching this on the Monday, so don't forget that. And we will see you very soon. In the meantime, take care.